So the Antifa brats are finally getting arrested. I don't know about you guys, but for the last several weeks, my social media feed has been full of nothing but mob activity by Antifa, what they have been doing in these downtown areas of many different cities. And as we know, the cities that they happen to be allowed to wreak havoc in are run by Democrats. Democrats are allowing this to happen. And it seems like in a lot of these areas as well, and I think Portland is one of them, that the police are on the side of the Democrats and Antifa as well. And they are doing more to punish law-abiding citizens and arrest journalists that are recording the activity than they are doling out consequences to the people that are actually committing crimes. So all of this has created this perfect storm for Antifa to wreak havoc for months, to make the lives of law-abiding citizens absolutely miserable. And when you have people in power that are backing this activity, it just makes it seem like it's never going to stop and no one's ever going to do anything about it. And as we know, Democrats never had any intention of making this stop. In fact, this is what they want. Because I don't know if you guys realize this, but I'm just going to say it. Antifa is basically the military arm of the Democrat Party. Democrats want more control. They want to silence speech. They want to bully and intimidate people into silence. They don't want to have any political opposition. All of those things just happen to be the definition of fascism. So Antifa is the military arm, is basically the physical enforcer of that agenda, which is why Democrats have allowed this to happen. And then when they get on camera and are asked about what this activity is and why they're not stopping it or what's really going on, they either do what Brandon Johnson is doing and say that it's totally justified, or they do like Oregon Governor Tina Kotek did, which is to pretend it's not happening at all, which is a message to the law-abiding citizens that we don't plan to do anything to stop it. But fortunately, federal agents are stepping in and saying, enough is enough. Like, while your police departments might be letting this slide, we're going to come in and enforce consequences. And nobody seems to be more shocked about these consequences than Antifa themselves, because they clearly just felt like they were going to be able to do this forever, that they were going to have the backing of people in power, and that they were never going to get arrested. They were never going to have any legal charges. And when they are figuring out that this is what their future looks like because of their own choices, because of engaging this activity, then they crumple on the floor like little toddlers and realize that this is not going to look pretty for them. So we're going to look at a few of these clips because it's just been so satisfying to watch, to see these people finally put in handcuffs and facing the consequences of their choices. But before we get too much further, I'm Outspoken Samantha. I appreciate you so much for being here. Please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for doing both of those things. So as we know, this activity by Antifa has been going on for years, on and off at this point. And this last little stint, I think, has been going on for months. They have been tearing through cities, torching cars, smashing windows, and calling it justice, and clearly under the impression that no one was ever going to stop them. But recently, these self-proclaimed revolutionaries have finally met their match. And that is federal agents who don't give a crap about what it is that they want and have no problem throwing these people down or retaliating against them or putting them in their place if they do things that are against the law. So this is one gal who found out the hard way that you can yell and scream at these people all they want, but they are at their breaking point and the fuse is very short, shall we say. It doesn't take much, and you will probably regret your choice in getting in their face pretty quickly.
Who is talking to you? No. Hey, this is the one that they created. Oh,
So she stood there for a long period of time, and I cannot even imagine the patience that these people have to have with these young adults. Like, their blood pressure, they have got to go through some serious training to keep their blood pressure down and to not overreact in these situations, but they have clearly had enough. And she thought she could stand there and scream in the face of this guy. I don't know if she touched him or not. And he eventually was just like, whatever, non-lethal force, obviously something she's been able to get over probably within an hour or two, but she got a face full of mace. Maybe she'll think twice about how she interacts with these people in the future. So we've got another one here. This was a guy who decided to dump red paint on an ICE facility last night. I don't know if it was on the sidewalk or if he threw it at the side of the building. He's got red paint all over himself there. But he was walked inside, arrested, handcuffed, and the minute he realized that this was a serious situation and that you can act like a toddler, but as a grown adult, you're going to face adult consequences, he wasn't so tough after that.
I fucking told you no!
See, here's the thing. I don't feel bad for you. Like, I am a mom. I have 3 kids. Sometimes it can be a little hard to discipline them. When you want to put them in timeout, you put them in a chair, you take them out of a situation because you need to get their behavior or their tantrum or whatever it is that they're doing under control. And in your heart, you feel really bad because you're just like, oh, my sweet baby, I just want to like pick them up and hold them. But you're like, no, this is to teach them. This is to help them learn. Not sure this guy ever experienced that as a child because, you know, these are things that we teach our kids when they're little so that they don't break the law, break the rules when they get older and face even more serious consequences. I'm just saying, feel bad when it's my kid. When it's a grown adult and you know better, I don't feel bad. I don't care if you're sitting there shaking like a leaf. I don't care if you are on the verge of tears. I don't care if you pee your pants. This is the consequence of the choices that you made. And as an adult, the consequences are a lot more harsh. You are going to face people, federal agents, police officers, whoever, who aren't going to care what your mental state was, aren't going to care if you tell them it's what my friends were doing. They're not going to care about your excuses. They're not going to care about your tears. They're going to bring the hammer down, and you could end up with a very serious criminal record that's going to impact the rest of your life. This is a woman who parked her vehicle in front of an ICE facility, and they told her to move. Ma'am, you've got to get your car out of the way. Ma'am, your car is in the way. And she refused to comply. I don't know why these people seem to think that they are above the law, or that if they just yell and scream at these agents, that the agents are just going to be like, oh, okay, we asked you to move your car and you didn't, so no big deal. We'll just move on. That's not how this works. Again, this is stuff that we learn when we're children. We learn how the law works. We learn how law enforcement works. We also learn to do everything we can to avoid encounters with law enforcement by not breaking the law. So I don't understand, particularly from the people that like to get out there and say that they're so educated and so informed. I don't understand where the disconnect is, because this is something that we're all aware of, and we don't need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on an education and then emerge from that not understanding how the law works. But yeah, this is her FAFO moment as well.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
You cannot detain me. You cannot detain me. You are not allowed. You are allowed.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You are not.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
You are not allowed to detain me. You are not allowed to detain me. You are not.
Yeah, you guys just escalate. She was about to fucking move. You guys are ridiculous.
What's your name?
Of course, there's no accountability whatsoever per our narrator right there. She was just about to move. What do you guys are the one that escalates all the time. You guys think that these guys, after having to deal with this day in and day out constantly, that they're just going to wait. They're going to ask you one time, maybe two, if they're feeling really good. But if you hesitate for a split second, they will drop you like a sack of potatoes. That's it. And I can understand why they are out of patience. They're not giving you chances. They're not your parent. They don't have to give you chances. They give you an order. You don't listen. You end up detained and living in probably your worst nightmare. Now, in some cases, these DHS federal agents are actually starting to perp walk these guys, these Antifa brats, in front of the camera intentionally. Basically saying, if this is how you want to act, this is what's going to happen to you. They are sending the message loud and clear. Now, this one I wanted to include just because it's funny. I think I put it at the beginning of my last video, but this guy who showed up in an inflatable frog suit, I don't know if he thought that that was going to be more protective, but the federal agents found a way to make his life miserable as well.
He sprayed Mace right into the ventilator.
Now, this one was a good one as well, but I have to play it on mute because the song is copyrighted. But he's being rolled away on this, was that a dolly? Because he refused to walk. So they're like, fine, you don't want to walk? We'll get you out of here this way. Again, behavior that I feel like I did with my kids when they were toddlers and refused, you know, when you're carrying them and they become like dead weight and you're like, fine, like I'll roll you out of here in the grocery cart. I will pick you up and dry you out of here if I have to, but you know, we're not doing this. So basically these people have regressed in their maturity and coping mechanisms and now have to be treated like toddlers. Now, this last one I want to show you is a guy that I don't know where he thought that this was going to be a good idea, but he got in the face of one of these agents, found out really quick that spitting in their face is a terrible idea. And this is something that a lot of us already know that we don't have to learn the hard way, but apparently the maturity level and the IQ level combined of these people makes it so that they have to learn the most basic lessons the hard way.
You guys don't belong here! Go back to the fucking South where you belong! Fuck you! You are protecting pedophiles! You are protecting Get out of our city! Get out of our state! Get out of here, bitch! Get out of our state! Guys, stop.
And I don't know if you could hear in the background, there was another crowd shouting USA. I know that a lot of groups of patriots have shown up to these mob activities and tried to counter them by yelling USA and trying to defend the federal agents. But again, I don't know why this guy thought that that was going to go over well for him. It's kind of like the guy that threw his Subway sandwich. I don't know if you guys saw that video. The guy threw his Subway sandwich at a federal agent. It was a couple months ago, and he found out pretty quick that that's just not okay. But it's not just the mob activity that is being allowed to happen at night. When everybody wakes up in the morning to go about their daily activities and go to work and go visit their friends and go run errands, this is what they have to drive through because these people are trashing these cities, leaving their crap everywhere. And this is what Portland looks like. But if you listen to Tina Kotek, she'll tell you everything is fine. She's like, I went to visit Portland myself this weekend and I went to do everything that I normally do. And it was totally fine. Yeah, because she probably avoided these areas. Like she didn't go into these areas that actual everyday people have to live in. So I'm sure she went to specific spots that are not overrun with mobs, that are not overrun with trash, that are not overrun with homelessness and all of this stuff going on. She avoided those areas because she doesn't have to walk through them. She doesn't have to live there. She doesn't have to deal with the consequences. So it's easy for her to say everything is fine while ignoring what is going on and ignoring what her constituents actually have to live with. So as I said, it was just really nice to see some accountability for once. But it's not only coming in the form of arrests. I saw this just before I logged on to do this video. Karoline Leavitt talking about how the FBI and other intelligence agencies are actually heavily digging into the background of Antifa and finding out who's funding them. They're getting to the root cause of the problem, as Democrats like to say, but they're actually doing it. Not just talking about doing it like Democrats like to do, they're actually doing it.
The financial backing of these groups, particularly Antifa, is certainly something the administration is looking into aggressively. And the federal government has never really been mobilized or tasked with doing that. So we're kind of kickstarting that into gear. The FBI is working on it alongside the White House's Homeland Security Task Force. We have our intelligence community looking into this as well. And even the Secretary of Treasury is involved with these matters since they are financial in nature. And we will continue to get to the bottom of who is funding these organizations in this organized anarchy against our country and our government. It's a question the American people have been begging the answer for many years, and we're committed to uncovering it. And when we do, I'm sure you'll be one of the first people to know.
So that'll be interesting to find out what is at the other end of that rainbow, what sits in that pot of gold when it comes to the investigation, because we all want to know who's really behind all this. I mean, I know we can speculate about George Soros, and I think that that's probably a pretty safe bet, but we know there's more than that. And yeah, Democrats, this is what they want for America. So I'm sure that they are getting paid heavily to promote this destruction and chaos because, as we know, they want to destroy America and everything that it stands for. And Antifa is the military wing of making that happen. But as for these Antifa members, these are young adults. And it is nice to finally see accountability, see some arrests, see some consequences. But at the heart of it, I do have to slightly feel bad for them, and not in the sense of, they make choices and therefore they are being arrested and charged based on criminal activity. That's not the part I feel bad about, because they absolutely should be arrested and they should be in jail and they should have a criminal record. What I feel bad about is that these young adults are having their future stolen from them by the Democrat Party, who are encouraging them to do this. They're not spending their time in their early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, focusing on progressing in life, focusing on building a career, focusing on finding that special someone and creating a family and doing things that have actual meaning. They have been indoctrinated to believe all of the wrong things about this country, all of the wrong things about politics and this administration in particular. So they feel like this Antifa activism is their calling in life. It is what's giving them meaning and purpose. But 5, 10, 15 years down the road, they're going to grow up and mature, maybe, and realize how much time was stolen from them when they bought into this stuff and truly thought that they were doing something with purpose, and realize how much time they lost to pursue things that would actually make them happy, to pursue the things that would actually bring them joy, to develop their skills and their talents, and to prioritize things that as human beings, we are actually meant to prioritize. They're having all of that taken away. And I hope that a lot of these young adults wake up sooner than later, but it just makes me sad to see this, to see the soullessness behind their eyes, to see the anger and the rage that has taken up space where joy, purpose, meaning, and happiness should exist at this point in time. So I'm hoping that some of these consequences are a wake-up call for some of these people, even though I know that we're not going to be able to get through to all of them. But my message to you guys, if I happen to get one of these people on my video, is that this is not what you were meant to do. This was not meant to be your path in life. You are being used and abused by people who want to destroy the very things that are supposed to give you purpose and meaning in your life and help you succeed and help you be the best version of yourself. And once they are done using you, they will toss you aside. They will not care about your allegiance to them, and you will be thrown under the bus like everybody else who is not a wealthy elite Democrat. You will be living in poverty if they get their way, in an equitable level of misery for everyone. Just want to say that that is the future you are trying to create for yourselves and for everyone else, and it doesn't have to be that way. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Again, you guys always know that we end with a clip of Charlie Kirk. Keep it real, and I will see you in the next one.
The left uses
How is this?
Let me tell you why. It's a good question, actually. The left uses people like you that think that, oh, we're going to fight the rich. Well, they protect their oligarchy. While you guys have to keep on working hard and never own anything, when we conservatives are the ones that actually want to restore the American middle class and bring jobs back to this country.
How would you restore?
Let me finish. The left uses people like you every day.
Who is funding? Dude, I have never seen a leftist organization come to campus spreading their propagandas?
Because the whole university is a leftist organization
No, it's
spreading
not.
propaganda.
It's liberal. There is a clear-cut difference between a leftist and a liberal. Please make that
You're coming
right.
after this in a good way, because every major, powerful, wealthy person in the country, over $100 billion in net worth, with the exception of one person, Elon Musk, is on the cultural left and gives money to the left. And you guys give them a free pass because you think that we're fascists, when in reality, we're the ones that are actually fighting to destroy the oligarchy the most.